All right, let's just dive right into this. Welcome to today's explainer. We're going to be demystifying the absolutely staggering amounts of money moving around in global sports right now. Specifically, we're unpacking the financial mechanics behind the 2026 FIFA World Cup. And I promise you, the numbers we're looking at today, they're going to completely change how you watch the tournament. $871 million. Let that sink in for a second. That is the record-breaking prize pool FIFA is handing out to the 48 participating teams. Now, every 4 years, that prize check quietly grows. But this cycle, it has exploded faster than almost anything else in the sport. Just look at what happens when we put the 2026 pool up against the 2022 Qatar numbers. The sheer scale of this jump is pretty wild. Depending on how you calculate the preparation payments, the 2022 pool hovered around $440 to $528 million. So hitting $871 million, that marks the largest single prize pool increase between consecutive tournaments in World Cup history. Section 1. The payout ladder. How the math actually works. Okay, so money in football rarely depends on effort alone, right? It depends on where you finish. But layer 1 here is what we call the guaranteed floor. Step 1 is a cool $10 million qualification fee, and Step 2 adds $2.5 million in preparation funding. Put those together, and it means every single qualifying team banks a minimum of $12.5 million before a single ball is even kicked, win or lose. Then we get to layer 2. This is the performance money, which scales up with every single round a team survives. Even a group stage exit adds $9 million to the pot. But look at the round of 16, earning $15 to $16 million in performance bonuses alone. That can be completely transformative for the operating budgets of smaller footballing nations. And of course, the champion pulls in a massive $50 million performance bonus. So the really crucial takeaway here is this. When you stack that guaranteed floor and the performance bonus together, the total payout awaiting the 2026 champion tops out at over $63.5 million. To put that into perspective, Argentina earned $42 million for winning back in 2022. That is a massive leap. It's actually the biggest jump in the Champions Prize between any two tournaments on record. Section 2. The structural drivers. Why the sudden increase? Well, expanding the tournament from 32 to 48 teams naturally generated 40 additional matches, and more matches mean vastly increased broadcast inventory and, you guessed it, way more sponsorship real estate to sell. Basically, FIFA generated record-high commercial revenues and made a deliberate business decision to reinvest that windfall right back into the sport. Actually, take a look at this $144 million slice here. That is dedicated entirely to mid-cycle logistics. Back in April 2026, FIFA actually bumped up the total prize pool by over $100 million from their original plan. And this was added specifically to cover the unusually high travel and lodging logistics of a World Cup that's spread all the way across the US, Canada, and Mexico. Section 3. The beneficiaries. Who actually cashes the check? Now, this brings us to a really common misconception. Do the players actually get this money? Well, the short answer is no, not directly anyway. The prize money FIFA distributes goes directly to the national federations, not to the individual athletes out there on the pitch. So what the players actually take home depends entirely on the bonus structures they've negotiated with their home federation. And, as you might imagine, this sparks a huge debate in football economics. On one hand, player unions argue for a larger direct cut, since, the athletes are the ones generating the broadcast revenue. Meanwhile, national federations argue they absolutely need these funds to support the sport's entire ecosystem. We're talking youth academies, women's programs, and grassroots facilities. Both sides definitely have highly legitimate arguments regarding how this wealth should be managed. To truly grasp how radically the economics of international football have shifted in just a single generation, consider this. Italy's 1982 World Cup winning team, they took home $2.2 million combined. In 2026, the guaranteed minimum fee for a team that loses every single game is $12.5 million. It is, quite literally, an entirely different sport financially. But as we wrap up this explainer today, I want to leave you with one final thought. While these 2026 numbers are undeniably historic, the men's prize pool still dwarfs the women's World Cup pool many times over. It leaves us with a critical question moving forward.
As these revenues continue to skyrocket, how will the future of football's wealth distribution be negotiated to close these glaring gaps? Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive, and keep that question in mind the next time you see a team lift the trophy.